Hello, everybody. In this video, I'm going to imagine that we have translated a document in Tradus, and now I'm going to show you how you can revise the document in Word. You can then get the revision back in Tradus to check it. You can then spell check, and then you can verify, which is also called QA or quality assurance in other CAT tools, and how we get the final translation. Now, we do nearly all of this in the review set of features. What we're going to see is we're going to use the export for bilingual review. We're going to use the update from bilingual review. We will be using export for bilingual review to get a text we can open up in Word to revise. We're going to revise that in Word, then we're going to get it back by choosing update from bilingual review. We're then going to use all these buttons, which very much are based on the track changes feature in Word, to accept or reject the changes. Then we're going to quickly do a spelling check and then verify. So one thing that's quite nice about Tradus is there's a kind of flow along the ribbon. So let's have a look. Let's imagine that we have translated. We now want to send this to be revised in Word. We click on Export for Bilingual Review. One thing that's very nice about Tradus is it reminds us, please save your document before continuing. If you're used to something like Google Docs or MemoQ, you're using software which saves for you. Remember, software like Word or Tradus, you have to save every few minutes. So I click on Yes. Now it will open up the Export for Bilingual Review function. And as with any batch task, this is a batch task, it tells us what we've opened up and invites us to continue. So we'll click Next. And here we have got the location where we're going to put it. We've got some other options, but actually we're just going to click on Finish today. We're going to accept everything and just click on Finish. So now it's making a bilingual document we can use for revision. As with all batch tasks, we click on Close and then we open up the document again. And in this case, we were invited to go to the folder where the review document has been made. And it's very important to click on that, otherwise you might get a bit confused. Tradus stores this in Documents, Studio 2021, Projects, that's where we store the projects. This project is called Project Anna 1, and in a subfolder called External Review. And the External Review has PTPT, because this was a translation into Portuguese. If I click here, we can see the Word document. If I double click, we will open this up in Word. And what we'll see is a document really which looks like an RTF file, a rich text format, which is basically a document as a table. And what we can see here is we have the source and the target here. Now, don't change anything in any of the column except the target segment and leave the tags alone, okay? Now, I'm just going to make a silly change here. I'm going to change this number so it's 306. I'm just going to make 2 or 3 changes. Let me just see. Let me just try and find a part of the text we've translated. Maybe, I don't know. Let me just come back up here. I'll just put cidade here. I'll just put cidades. And I'll put pesquisa. So I've just made 3 pretty random changes just to simulate revising. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to save this document. Oops, sorry, that was autosave. I'll just click here, the diskette, the save icon, or I could also have come down here and clicked on File Save. I'm going to close this now. So we're going to imagine we've done the revision. Let's go back to Tradus. Now we have to put the revised document back. To do that, we click on Update from Bilingual Review. But be careful, there's a arrow here, and there are 2 actual options. One is Update from Bilingual Review, and the other is Update from Reviewed Target Text. We want the first one, Update from Bilingual Review. Now, when we choose this, it's also a batch task. So we will see an initial screen saying that we have chosen a batch task, which is this. We then click on Next. And what we see is the name of the file that is in the editor. And we have a space here where we select the review document. Remember, there's the original file in Tradus, and then we worked on the review document in Word. The easiest thing here is just to right click here and click on Add Specific Review Document. It's also possible to come over here and click on Add and select Specific Review Document. I personally prefer just to right click here, Add Specific Review Document. Now, I joke with my students that the most common thing you say with Tradus is, where is it? So where is that revision? Well, the revision will be in Documents, Documents Studio 2021, Projects, the name of the project, in this case Project Anna 1, External Review, PTPT, and then we'll see the document. And then we can just open it up. So what we've done here really is just opened a file. There are other options which we're not, I beg your pardon, there are no other options, we can just finish. So let's finish. Now this is opening up. As with any batch task, we close, and then we're invited to open up the file. What we will now have, we can just see here, we've got an example where we can see one of the changes. So what do we do? How do we deal with these? Well, the best thing is to go to the beginning of the document, just put the cursor at the beginning of the document, go to Review tab, and you'll see with these Track Changes buttons, Track Changes, by the way, is originally from Word. When you alter something, here we can see the original and the change. Now, if we click on the Next button here, it will take us, in this case, to the first change that we made. Now, we have to decide whether we want to accept or reject this. I actually don't want this, so I'm going to reject it. Now, I'm going to click on Reject. Now, I've rejected the fact that I want to delete this. I now have to also reject the fact that I want to replace it with this. It then takes us to the next change. When we accept or reject, this is a little bit tricky. I found this tricky when I first used it, but if we wanted to change this, for example, first of all, we accept the need to change. then we accept that this is the change we want. Or we reject, and we reject the change. In this case, I'm going to reject the fact that we need a change, and I can click the change, although we appear to delete it. Now it takes me to a change in the number I made. I'm going to reject this again. Whoops, sorry. I'm going to reject this again, and then reject once more. Let me just click on next in case it didn't, I didn't have it selected. I click on reject. Then it says, do I want to continue searching? And then it tells me there's no more changes. So checking the changes from the revision has now been completed. So we've checked the revision. Now we just want to do spell check and verify. Spell check is over here, check spelling. It's also, as you can see, F7. So we just click on it and we'll get various words that need to be checked. In this case, we haven't translated very much, so the spell check is complete. Now I'm going to click on the verify, the QA settings. I click on here, and what I actually get is a lot of error messages. In fact, I get 289. The simple reason is nearly all the segments have not been translated. So it's saying, hey, you've forgotten to translate this, you've forgotten to translate this. Now, all I want to show you is that, say we were interested in one of these, we can select it. It will then take us at the bottom to the segment in context, and then we can right click here and we can show message details. We can see some more information. In this case, it's just a segment that's not been translated. We can just ignore all of these. And in fact, there are no other verification messages, so we've finished. These are actual messages suggesting not translated. When you run verify, it will put the symbols for problems. Now we just have to get the final translation. If you look, we've translated, we sent it off for revision, we checked the revision, we've done the spell check, we've verified. Now we just want the final translation. And I suggest the easiest way to do this is just to click on File and then click on Save Target As. And we can, I like to just put, for example, PT underscore or DE underscore at the beginning of the name, and then I just click on Save. Thank you very much for watching this video.